Assalamu alaikum. This is Protusha Burwa, welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Chief Advisor Professor Yunus returns home concluding 4-day official visit to UK. Dengue situation worsens in country. Huge number of infections reported in Borishal division. COVID-19 infection in rising trend. Physicians advised to maintain health guidelines. Number of judges in court increased to speed up justice for people, says law advisor. Three Israelis killed and more than 150 wounded as Iran launches barrages of missiles in Israeli cities, including Tel Aviv. And FIFA Club World Cup kicks off tomorrow with maiden match between Inter Miami and Al Ahly at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Viewers, those were the headlines, and moving on to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Yunus returned home, wrapping up his 4-day official visit to UK. A flight of Biman Bangladesh Airlines carrying the Chief Advisor and entourage landed at Hazrat Shah Jalan International Airport at 9:40 a.m. this morning. Earlier, he departed Heathrow Airport for home at about 7:15 p.m. London local time on Friday. The main focus of Chief Advisor's tour to London was on recovery of stolen assets. During the Sheikh Hasina's reign, $234 billion was siphoned off from Bangladesh to various countries. A part of it was laundered to the UK. During his visit, a one-to-one meeting was held between Chief Advisor and King Charles III, and Professor Yunus received the King Charles Harmony Award. Besides, the Bangladesh Chief Advisor met Sir Lindsay Hoyle, Speaker of the UK House of Commons in Westminster, London. On June 11, the UK Secretary of State for Business and Trade and President of the Board of Trade, Jonathan Reynolds, met Professor Yunus at the British Parliament. The Chief Advisor spoke at an event at the Royal Institute of International Affairs in Chatham House. On 13 June, BNP Acting Chairman Tariq Rahman met the Chief Advisor, and during the meeting, they discussed Bangladesh's next general elections, reform and other issues. Chief Advisor Professor Yunus reached London on June 10 on a 4-day visit to the United Kingdom. A total of 169 new dengue cases and 1 death were reported across the country in 24 hours, raising the number of confirmed cases to 5,739 since the beginning of the year. According to the Directorate General of the Health Services (DGHS), in recent fatalities, 1 was reported in Chittagong Division. Besides, Borishal Division alone reported 101 new cases, Chittagong Division recorded 28 cases, Dhaka Division reported 5, while 19 cases were detected in Dhaka South City Corporation, 16 in Dhaka North City Corporation. Currently, 633 dengue patients are receiving treatment in hospitals across the country. Last year, dengue claimed the lives of 575 people. According to the Directorate General of Health Services, there were 101,214 dengue cases and 100,040 recoveries in the same year. Meanwhile, alongside dengue, coronavirus is also becoming more dangerous as 2 persons died of this virus yesterday. Doctors advise people to follow health safety rules regularly to prevent the spread of this viral disease. 7 new COVID-19 cases were reported with no death in the country in the last 24 hours, according to the Directorate General of Health Services. A total of 139 samples were tested during the latest reporting period of 24 hours, resulting in a daily positivity rate of 5.04%. The overall positivity rate stands at 13.05 till now, while the fatality rate based on detected cases remains at 1.44%. Meanwhile, the number of recovered people from COVID-19 stands at 2,019,406. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul said, making alternative dispute resolution ADR methods mandatory as essential to address the persistent and overwhelming backlog of cases. The ministry is taking prompt and decisive steps to implement this initiative. He made this remark while presiding over a exchange meeting organized on the draft of the Legal and Act Amendment Ordinance 2025 at the conference room of the National Legal Aid Services Organization in the capital today, mentioning that reducing the pressure of new cases is the need of time. He said that to reduce this pressure, more importance should be given to ADR methods. Therefore, it is important to make the mediation and settlement mandatory before filing a case, he added. The draft of the Legal Aid Act Amendment Ordinance 2025 was presented by the NLASO in the meeting. Related officials concerned were present in the meeting. People returning to the capital after celebrating the Eid al-Adha with their near and dear ones in their village homes. Offices, courts and banks will open tomorrow as the 10-day-long government holiday ended today. On the last day of the holiday, there was a huge crowd of people at Shodurghat launch terminal in the morning. 12 launches were deployed on the Dhaka route, up from the usual 2. Passengers said they are satisfied to be able to return to the capital safely after sharing the joy of Eid with their families. Meanwhile, from Komlapur railway station to Mohakhali and Gaptoli bus terminals, there was a stream of people returning to the capital throughout the day. Police are working to ensure smooth travel of the passengers heading towards their respective destinations. There is pressure from Dhaka-bound passengers and vehicles on the highway. However, traffic movement on the highway is normal. The number of vehicles heading towards the capital has increased significantly over the past 2 days. The pressure of returnees was also visible at the border bridge, where 38,781 vehicles crossed in 24 hours on Friday, along with 24,922 heading towards Dhaka. Now, international news. At least 3 Israelis have been killed and more than 150 wounded as Iran launches barrages of missiles in Tel Aviv and other Israeli cities in a retaliatory attack. Meanwhile, Iranian authorities said Iran's strikes against Israel will continue, with targets set to expand to include U.S. bases in the region in the coming days. Senior Iranian military officials said this confrontation will not end with the last night's limited actions, and Iran's strike will continue, and this action will be very painful and regrettable for the aggressors. They were quoted saying that the war would spread in the coming days to all areas occupied by the region and American bases in the region. The threat of a wider war comes as Iran and Israel continue targeting each other on Saturday after Israel launched its biggest ever air offensive against its longtime foe in a bid to prevent it from developing a nuclear weapon. Investigators and rescue teams are searching the site of one of India's worst aviation disasters, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met with the lone surviving passenger a day after an Air India flight fell from the sky and killed 241 people on the plane and multiple people on the ground. The Boeing 787 -8 Dreamliner en route from the Ahmedabad to London Gatwick Airport with 242 people on board went down shortly after takeoff on Thursday, striking a medical college hostel in the western Indian city. One of the plane's black boxes has been found. Local media reported, and operations on Friday were focused on locating missing people and recovering aircraft fragments and the remaining black box. An official from the National Disaster Response Force said it deployed 7 teams to the crash site and they have recovered 81 bodies so far. The crash caused extensive damage and left bodies scattered both inside the aircraft and among buildings at the site. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the scene in his home state of Gujarat on Friday, meeting with rescue officials and some of the injured in hospitals. Now, sports news. Football. The newly designed FIFA Club World Cup 2025 is set to commence tomorrow from June 14 to July 13 across 12 stadiums in 11 cities of the United States, marking a significant transformation in the tournament structure. This edition will have 32 teams play for the trophy for the first time, with the sides divided into 8 groups of 4 each. Lionel Messi is set to play in the opening match, which will see the MLS contenders take on Egyptian club Al Ahly at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. The final will be played at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, while the tournament will conclude on July 13.